Hi there, my name is John Stevens. I'm pastor of Zion Lutheran Church in Oregon City, Oregon, and we're part of the ELCA, and welcome to Dollar Store Children's Sermons, where we take a look at the lectionary text and we tie them to an item from the Dollar Tree or junk drawer, kids' room, and now the kitchen. I'm in my kitchen, and this is a second video for this coming Sunday, the 8th Sunday after Pentecost, where Jesus says, withdraw to a quiet place. It's this rest, this need for rest. And so we are going to do a science experiment. And you might have already done this. If you have, great. If not, you are in for a treat. So we are going to be playing with some cornstarch and some water. We're going to be making a kind of like a quicksand, but a wonderful illustration about when when you're stressed and you're holding in stuff, how it just, that can become like a brick. But when we rest and we find ourselves connecting with God and we open up our hands, the worry can drain. So let's get at it. And I'm gonna pull out the stuff and let's make this thing. All right, we've got the stuff out here. We've got the cornstarch we're gonna be using. Measuring cup, if you want, you can just pour the cornstarch into the cup, into the bowl that you're going to be mixing with, and some water. And you're going to be using your fingers to do this because the mixture it's interesting, but I tried it with a fork and it just doesn't work as well. So you're going to be using your fingers. So I'm going to pour some cornstarch. I'm going to actually use the thing is the cornstarch, if you never used it, worked with it, it's really, really light and really, really fine, and it loves to get all over the place. So I have, I'm going to actually now turn the camera so you can see this. You won't see me, but you'll hear me, and we'll pour some stuff and we may see how it works, and I'll show you. Be right back. All right, so I've got the cornstarch here, and I've got the water here, you can tell, and so I am just going to pour a little water in there. As you can tell, it's not a lot of water. I guess that's what a little water would mean. And I reach in here and I mix in this together. And this is going to be close to what? Maybe notice how it runs a bit when it sits. It kind of smooths out. I'm going to pour just a little bit more water in. So I've got a little bit more, and I'm going to get in there and see, it's starting to, this is so, it's almost like making slime, but it's not. So I might have added just a little too much water. A way to test that, so it's really runny now. Yeah, it's a little too runny. Notice how that runs right through the fingers, that's what you want. But I'm doing this. I'm going to grab and just take a little bit more cornstarch and put it in there. It's almost like making frosting. Not really, but except for using powdered sugar. Anyway, so I'm moving this. And notice how that gets hard like that. So this is pretty close. I added just a little too much water the last time. So check this out. This is good stuff. All right, so notice how that moves and runs. And I get some on the ground. So if you press down, you can tell that you've got a pretty good mixture if you press down and it feels hard, and it is. So if I grab this in my hand, like this, and I squeeze tight, see how it's solid, yet if I let it sit and I rest, it's going to start running through my hands. I might even have, let's see, I might have, I might need to add a little bit more. So I'm going to add just a little bit more, like, You do want it you want it hard. Okay. Mixing this in. Thanks for sticking with me on this. I'm hoping I'm staying in frame. All right. So this is a little better. I press down and it's hard like that. But I can reach in like here. I'm going to pull this in my hand, and I've got it in my hand, and I hold it tight like that, nothing. But if I open up my hands like this, notice how it then slowly starts to work and run through my fingers. And I'll hold it like that, and you see how it's dry, but you open up your hand and you let it rest, and it starts to run through the fingers. I might have a little too much cornstarch in here, but I'm not going to add any more water just because I wanted to show you this. So the idea with this, I'm going to actually turn the camera back around. I'm going to clean up my hands, but notice how that's solid. If I press it down, I push down hard, and it can't get, it's solid. But if I slowly, it goes in like that. That's the idea. So, all right, I'm going to turn the camera back around, and we're going to talk about it. All right. All right, so a lot of this depends on how much water, the consistency, but the idea for this children's tournament is that when you've got this mixed and you're pressing down on it, it is hard. It is, I mean, I'm pushing down, and it's solid. And this idea that it's like I'm there, or even when I pick it up, it feels solid, and then I'm holding it, it's solid, and then even some of it runs through my hands, but if I hold it up, you'll see that it's solid, but then it moves into this liquid. This idea that if I'm holding on to something, if I'm gripping onto it, it's hard. It's like some of it will come through my hands, but I'm holding on to it, and I still got a good amount in my hands. And then if I open this up, you will see it doesn't happen all at once. It's the idea of resting, of taking care of ourselves, is that slowly this will start to take on more of it becomes liquid again, or it's all slimy. It's nice, but so that's the idea. You can look up YouTube videos. There's some concise ones. Be prepared to make a mess. Mix this at home first. You could have a large container of it, and the large container, you don't even have to pick it up in your hands if you don't want all the messy, but you've got the large container, and you can push. If you get a clear container, and they can see it, and you can push on it, and it's hard. I mean, I'm pushing on that, and it's my finger is not going in it, but resting and taking your time, and my hands are in it, and then it runs through. They have just seen that it's been hard, but it's hard here, but when I actually open it up and it runs through my hands, if you're in a class, if you're in a Sunday school class, you could do this, and the kids could make it themselves. So there we are. I'm going to pause and clean up. Thank you so much for your partnership in ministry, for being with me and watching some of this. So it's when I grab it, here's another tip. I'm just realizing that if you don't squeeze as hard, that you grab it up off of the thing, and you hold it, and then you turn it here. It's solid, and then it moves into that liquid. So it's kind of keeping the liquid together when you come up into your hand. But the fact that you can grab it and then open it up and it runs through. There we are. All about resting, about taking care of ourselves, not holding on to the stuff so tightly, and that when we trust into God's hands. So anyway, and it's gross, and the kids love it. All right, we'll see you next week. Thank you for being here. Thanks for your partnership in ministry, and I hope you are doing well. Blessings and peace be on you. All right, bye.